Hey, good morning. Here we are on February 2nd, looking at opening bell with Chris Lansford. I'm Derek Demore at Futures Demore and Futures Networks Live. How you doing, Chris?
Good morning, Derek. I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing fine. Doing
Awesome.
fine. So just going over opening bell, we've had a move up from this early morning. We're definitely have all the EMA indicators in order, the 21 period, the 50, the 89, and the 200, and we're above that. Our wonderful colleague, Jeff Brown, was saying that all his indicators were saying short this morning. So we're going to take a look at what happened. Did you have any predilections on what was going to take place?
No, I think I was with Jeff Brown on that. A couple indications led to the short that Jeff was alluding to. I like to look for the reversal on the RSI being overbought, and it looks like right around that time we had a third high kind of taking place on the RSI, and then a recross. So you would expect that thing to come on through, and so far it's been hanging out on there. We seem kind of parabolic this morning, just heading straight up. Wouldn't you agree?
I do. So the 15 also was, we're not really piercing the 2 sigma, which is something we like to look at. It was kind of bouncing off. So again, another top right there at 32, maybe 36 was signifying to me that, hey, this could be a nice place for a little turnaround. So did you have any other charts or things that you would want to look at? I can switch to those.
Have you looked at the 4 hour in a while? Was that the 240 minute?
Yeah. So we were down. Yeah. This is this little box area that I've been looking at, 28 to 36. We finally did have a close last night. I was talking about if we did have a close below to go short, and it just in one 4 hour candle went down. And then it came back. We went down and tested this middle 50% line on our channel, our long-term channel, and then it went back up and closed back in it. So it was just one below.
Using that level of support down there at the 50% line on your channel, that level of significance is amazing. So basically what happens on this channel, if we can stay above that again, which looks like we're going to be on this candle.
And 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left. It does. So, looks like trading to the other side of this channel right now.
Derek, I noticed that you have a highlighted zone, a region on your charts. It looks like a Y highlight. Yeah, that little orange section there. So would you call that a mixture of a supply and a demand zone?
Absolutely. That's, last night every close was between these two bands. And I talked about it right here. I said, hey, a close below, go short, a close above, go long. And we had a close below. And then it didn't really close much below. But like I said, then the next trade, it most likely went down first. I'd have to look at the 1 hour, but then it ended up back in here. So you could have made some decent points from that close.
Playing with that region.
Playing with it. Flirting. And now it looks like we're going to close above it. So Chris, here's, I don't know if you were on this morning, but here's what we had to deal with right when opening bell hit. And again, Jeff's charts or things were saying down. So what do you see?
When I look at this, it'd be compelling me to think down too and look for a spot to go down. It's giving somewhat of a look of a reversal pattern at the top. I don't know if you want to call it a double top, head and shoulders forming, but it's giving you these, it's giving you the bumpy road at the top, like it wants to come back down. But every time it comes down and tests, it's just a quick rejection and back up into the same comfort zone. So I think time's going to determine. It's kind of disappointing for all those active opening bell traders that are ready to, jump in. They're looking for their 8 to 12 points, but sometimes the market has a mind of its own.
Yeah, and one thing that I noted is right when you get the 21, the 50, the 89, and the 200 all in this order that it's going in a certain direction, you usually get a turnaround at that point because it's like the market's hit what it wants to hit. It's hit that homeostasis that it's looking for. And I said that right at 9:10 this morning. And look at this. Then if I would have trusted my gut, it would have made a nice little run down. Not a lot of points, maybe 4 or 5, but that was a good call. Okay, so here's what happened. we actually could have made a little money going down, but not a lot. It actually went up. Let's see, 32.50 to 37. So that's a 4.5 point potential stop out. Yeah. And then it turned around and had a doji and now launch. So a little different than what maybe we anticipated, but what are your thoughts?
Like I said, parabolic, it just wants to go up, up, up. And every time it gets to a stopping point, I think it's just swallowing a bunch of supply orders, you know.
Good point.
And that just feeds it into the market, and then the price action is going to keep going up. I think that you had the all-time high. I think that could be back on the sites again to finish out this week. We could get back up there again. What do you think?
Yeah, and that's, I guess, what, you know, from going forward for the rest of the day, especially now, I think we had the little 4-hour close just right now. We are, look at this, well above the 38, 36 level. Are we going to come back and test the top of that? Probably.
Yes.
I would imagine a test on that right now, and then get in long to go potentially close, maybe R2 and maybe the all-time high in the 38.62 area.
You know,
go ahead.
And you're on the 4-hour chart, so you can kind of see basically if that can pull back to that 35.5. Then your ceiling on that could be all the way up to 38.55.
Absolutely.
Before end of day. So there's a lot to play with there. I think it's really depending on what it does around that close access at 35.50 that you had highlighted. So 36.50.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So to me, you know, long rest, even if it comes down and retests the bottom of this area, you know, for me, long, it's showing. I mean, I'm not worried until it breaks this 50%. You have a close below. So a 5-minute, a 15-minute, any type of close below this 38.21, 38.22 area. Then I'm starting to think, okay, we've made the turn, and we're going to go back and potentially test the 200 period moving average. How about your closing thoughts? Anything else that you want to look at?
Oh, I want to look at the Russell.
All right, let's
pull. Can you show us the Russell there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was noticing this morning that the three charts, how they're moving, and you know that at one point the NQ seemed to be leading. You noticed it seemed to be leading the ES, and you flip over to the Russell, the RTY, and it's just doing its own thing, very parabolic.
Holy free holies, Batman! That's ridiculous. Look at that chart. I mean, and it's good. I was going to try to take a short right here at 2170. I'm glad, man. I mean, would have got a few points, but
you had a limit order set there at one point.
I did,
to go short, and it made sense at the time you had it, and then as it was starting to not make sense, I saw you remove it, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good anticipation on your part.
Wow, to get in this move, this channel is just a no-brainer to trade long. So, you know, you just, as it's going, you just stay long. I mean, this is a beautiful channel. We're in the way overbought region for a long period of time, but you know, at some point we'll have a reversal. And
I think the contrarian trader is going to be in a lot of trouble here. Anytime you have a price action ride the bottom of your channel for that long, or the bottom of an envelope channel, I know, and I'm speaking from experience, a contrarian trader that's saying, hey, this is about to break, this is about to break, this is about to break. They can say it over and over again. And they're the ones that are feeding their money into the engine here.
Yes.
So you have to stay with what you see. This is a great setup to do a video about parabolic price action.
Absolutely. We will look at that. That's a great comment. Great comment. Hey, Chris, since we looked at the Russell, let's look at the M2 or the MNQ, the NQ NASDAQ. So there we go.
Wow. So that's a big difference just on first sight. You can see that between the pivot point and the S1, we have nearly a 90-point difference there, and we're going to cover all that in just a few candles. So those of you that trade the NASDAQ or the micro NASDAQ, you're aware of this volatility, how fast, how many points, how fast you can change direction. Here it comes. It's coming down full speed. It's going to get all the way down to this S1, it looks like.
I almost feel like jumping in on this. Once it broke these wicks down here, I mean, that was a great momentum trade. You're going along the 4 sigma. You had a doji right at the 200, a lot of activity, but now, you know, probably going to pull back somewhere into the 420 area right now, and then launch further south. We'll see what happens.
All the way to the S1. And I think one of the things to point out is the fact that once it did break through that demand zone, I mean, once it pushes through and it keeps taking all those buy orders and stretching itself sideways, when it exhausts that, look what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Look how fast and
Wow.
how with reckless abandon it rolls through that spot. So it's going to come back into that zone. That's a popular zone, and looks like it's already going to show us. It's going to test the bottom of that zone.
Yep.
And it's going to say, hey, okay, we're on the low side. We're on the short side.
Yeah. Said 420. Man, I wish I could have traded that back up to 419 at least.
We shouldn't have looked at the Russell first. We should have went to the NQ. This is great.
Oh boy. Well, hey, this is a great morning. I think I don't know what's going to happen with the NAS, but the MES looks long. We did have a little pullback on the 4 hour. It might pull back a little further. But look at this. I mean, this is just, man. I mean, this is way up.
So Derek, when you have divergence between the ES and the NQ like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're literally spreading opposite directions. Would you say that you could probably short one and long the other because they're going to come back to common ground?
Yeah, that I've done that, and it's an advanced trade, and you got to be watching both. But yeah, you can do that. Absolutely.
And you got to have the account, and you got to remember that trading involves risk. And risk capital should be used.
You could lose everything. Yep, absolutely.
Good
but
stuff.
Yeah,
well, thanks for having me on this morning.
You're welcome. This was great. We're going to do it more, guys. Futures to More, Futures Networks Live. Chris, why don't you tell people how to get here?
Oh yeah, futuresnetworks.live, futuresnetworks.com. Check us out. FNL is a licensed vendor of Ninja Traders products, and we are a member-driven, members only, basically, peer-to-peer sharing and collaboration group of traders of all skill levels. So we invite you to come and check it out for yourself. We offer anybody a 2-week trial to come in and just sit in our trading room and pick the traders' brains. So we encourage you to take advantage of that. Check out futuresnetworks.live, fill out a contact FNL form, and you'll be in touch with our real traders. Hey, who knows, Derek or myself might reach out to you and see where you're at with trading and investing.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. A great group of people. So you're welcome anytime.